Patrick Bourne. Just a quick update. I found an article right now, March 13th, 10:15 a.m. by David Hookstead. He's talking about the PAC might actually see some light at the end of the tunnel. He says George Kliavkov and the conference have so very publicly failed to land a media deal, and it's put the future of the conference up in the air. If a new deal cannot be reached, or there's a very real chance that the Pac-12 could collapse. Now it appears some kind of deal might be reached. Forbes reported that a deal is expected before the end of March. End of March. So we'll see. And now it says, and streaming giants Apple and Amazon are expected to be in the mix. ESPN could also end up in the deal. Sounds like a lot of streaming to me. Hopefully not for the PAC's sake, but if it is, they might stick together because it seems like their hatred of the Big 12 is just enough to keep them together. It's interesting. But ESPN could also end up in the deal, which will feature mostly streaming games, according to the same report. So maybe it sounds to me like ESPN is talking about ESPN Plus, which is really, really interesting. He continues, says, will the Pac-12 survive? The Pac-12's immediate goal is to earn roughly $31.7 million, which is what the Big 12 is getting roughly per school at its base number, annually per conference member. So what does that need to be? Why does it need to be that number? Well, that's what the Big 12 has locked down for its members. Brett Yormark has been crystal clear he wants to expand west. That's a lot of people are saying, no, he's never mentioned. No, he doesn't have to mention the individual schools. He's told you that he wants to expand west, which means coming for the Pac-12 without a deal, he'll have an opening. To make matters even more complex, Oregon and Washington reportedly believe the Big Ten will welcome them with open arms. This is why I've always said that Oregon and Washington are the real reason why the Pac-12 is unstable. The fact that they have one foot out the door and have both gone to visit Big 10 leadership is the reason why the Pac-12 is unstable. He continues, will this new deal change that? Let's look at some basic numbers. Oregon and Washington reportedly believe roughly $40 million annually could be waiting for them in the Big 10. Well, why would the Ducks and Huskies agree to anything less than that to stay in the Pac-12? That doesn't make a ton of sense. It does not really add up at all. As we've said many times here at Outkick, it's a very fluid situation. Things can quickly change. If a deal is done by the end of March, the details will be incredibly important. I agree, streaming would be a killer because both Washington and Oregon have said that they will not sign any media rights agreement that has a majority of streaming. So, and it already looks like that's the case according to Outkick. He says things can quickly change. If a deal is done by the end of March, the details will be incredibly important. How much money? Is it equal splits? How long is the deal? All those questions fans will want answered immediately. And this again was an article written by David Hookstead today, 10:15 Eastern. It says David is a college football fanatic who foolishly convinces himself every season the Wisconsin Badgers will finally win a national title. So David Hookstead, of course, not aligned with the Big 12, which a lot of people are going to say that he's just another Endeavor person who has been supplied by the Big 12 money bank. But anyways, I'm just reporting what I've seen, and this article is very interesting to me, and by the way, kind of along the lines which I believed as I'm watching this unfold. I'm not an anti-Pac-12 person. I have no problem with the Pac-12. Would love it if they survive. It keeps the Big Two from swallowing everything. But at the same time, if they don't, then I would see, a Big Three. Because I see a super conference that can be built out of the leftovers, and the Big 12 would be the core of that. So we'll see. It's just interesting news. Thank you.
Big 12 open for business. There is no doubt the Big 12 is open for business. We will leave no stone unturned to drive value for the conference.